Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. Canada Day is just a few days away and I'm making my cedar plank salmon burgers to celebrate. On the west coast of Canada, salmon is a staple ingredient and everyone seems to love it, so I'm cooking it up today in these delicious, juicy and smoky cedar plank salmon burgers. So if you want to learn how to make this delicious Canadian meal, just keep on watching. For this recipe you'll need salmon, burger buns, birch syrup, tomato, lettuce, salt and pepper, olive oil, mayonnaise, pickles, lemon, capers, garlic, and parsley. I'm using my favorite deluxe brioche burger buns from Portofino Bakery in this recipe, and I'm also using some locally made sea salt from Salt West. And of course, I'm also using some ocean-wise sockeye salmon in this recipe, and sockeye salmon is my absolute favorite, but you can use whatever type of salmon that you like. Before we begin cooking, we'll have to soak our cedar planks. You can get cedar planks at hardware stores or gourmet kitchen stores. So to soak them, I just simply fill a glass baking dish with some water and then add the cedar planks into it. If you press the cedar planks down, you'll see that they float, and you want to make sure that they're completely submerged in the water so that they can soak properly. So add a couple weights to the top and the cedar planks should stay underwater. It is best to soak these planks overnight, but if you don't have time, you can soak them for about 2 to 3 hours and that should work as well. While the cedar planks are soaking, we'll make our mayonnaise sauce. To begin, add some mayonnaise to a bowl and then finely chop up 1 clove of garlic. Once your garlic is finely chopped, add it into the mayonnaise. Next, we're going to chop up some capers, and I love adding capers to any salmon recipe because they're nice and salty. Again, I'm going to finely chop this up and then add it into the mayonnaise. And then to complement the salty capers, we're going to add in some dill pickles. The dill pickles add additional salt and a little bit of briny, vinegary flavor, which goes absolutely great with salmon as well. So I'm going to chop up these pickles into little cubes and then add it into the mayonnaise mixture. And of course, all the full measurements and directions for this recipe can be found on my website, and I'll link the recipe in the description box below. And then to add some bright and fresh flavor, we're going to add some Italian parsley. I'm going to finely chop this up again and then add it into our mayonnaise mixture. And as you guys can see here, I had to transfer all the ingredients into a larger mixing bowl. I thought I could make it in the clear bowl for you guys to see, but obviously this bowl was a little too small. So when you're making it at home, make sure you do it in a larger bowl than what I used here. And next we're going to add in some fresh lemon juice into our mayonnaise mixture. Again, this will add some nice brightness and freshness, and it'll help loosen up the mayonnaise mixture a little bit more. Finally, we'll also add in some ground black pepper. And this adds a little bit of heat, not too much, just a little bit, and adds additional flavor to the sauce. And then once all of our ingredients have been added into the bowl, we're going to go ahead and mix it up. And you should see the consistency is a little bit runny, but this makes it super spreadable on your salmon burger. And once it's all mixed up, just pop it in the fridge while we prepare the rest of our ingredients. And of course, with any burger, we have to add on a little bit of veggies to get that nice crunch. So here we're keeping it super simple, and we're just using some plain red lettuce from our garden, as well as some beautiful BC grown vine ripened tomatoes. Once you have your lettuce and tomatoes sliced up, just add them to a plate and set it aside until we're ready to dress our burgers. Next, we'll move on to preparing our salmon, and this couldn't be any easier. As you can see, I have a beautiful fillet of sockeye salmon here, and I'm just cutting it up into large pieces that'll fit the size of my burger buns. I decided to leave the salmon skin on the burgers, but if you don't like to eat the skin, you can totally remove it. I like to eat it only when it's from fresh salmon, but I won't eat it off of frozen salmon or anything like that. It's just a weird sort of texture thing. Once the salmon fillet has been cut up, we're just going to top it with some salt. And here I am using the sweet and smoky maple salt from Salt West Naturals, and this salt is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it if you guys can get your hands on it. It is delicious. And of course, if you can't get your hands on the salt, no worries. You can also use a nice fancy smoke salt or just regular sea salt. Then once the salt has been added, we're just going to drizzle it with olive oil and rub everything together. Birch syrup is another delicious Canadian ingredient that is in this recipe, and this actually comes from Quebec. However, I don't put it on the salmon right away because I find that it burns since it's so sugary. So I'm just going to place a little bit of the birch syrup in a bowl, and then we'll take it out with us to the barbecue to baste the salmon as it cooks. And of course, if you can't find birch syrup, you can also substitute this with maple syrup as well. Now that we have our salmon and our birch syrup, let's take everything out to the barbecue. To cook the salmon, you want to preheat your barbecue to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the barbecue has come to temperature, we're going to add on the soaked cedar planks that we did earlier. I just kind of like to toss them quickly on the grill and then shut the lid so that they can begin to smoke. After about 7 to 10 minutes, you should start to see quite a bit of smoke, and this is when you want to open your grill, add on your salmon fillets in a nice even layer so that none of the salmon is touching, and then close the lid so that you can let all the smoke steam and kind of get into the delicious salmon fillet as it cooks. After about 5 to 7 minutes, open the lid and you should see that the salmon has a beautiful orangey pink opaque color. This is when you want to baste your salmon with the birch syrup, and I just use a silicone brush to do this. After you baste the salmon, close the lid and let it cook a little bit more. Normally the salmon takes about 10 to 15 minutes to cook, but it always varies depending on the thickness of the salmon. But you'll know it's cooked when the salmon has turned a nice orangey pink color and is firm to the touch. Once the salmon is fully cooked, you want to remove that and the cedar planks from the grill. To remove it really easily, I just like to use a pair of tongs and grab the entire cedar plank and drag it across the barbecue onto a baking sheet. Now this step can be a little bit tricky because there's lots of smoke flying around and it's pretty hot, but using the tongs really helps, so definitely use that trick when you're removing it from your barbecue. And just like that, you'll have a mean cedar plank salmon. This tastes absolutely delicious the way it is, but we're going to take it to the next level and add it on top of our burgers. So let's go ahead and do that now. No matter what type of burger I'm making, I always like to toast the burger buns. So I just added these on the barbecue for about 2 to 3 minutes until they had these beautiful char marks. Then once they're toasted, let's bring them inside with everything else and we'll assemble our burgers. To assemble my cedar plank salmon burgers, I'm going to add a couple scoops of the mayonnaise mixture onto each side of the bun. Next, I'll add on my beautiful red lettuce from the garden, along with a couple slices of the tomato. And then to finish off the burger, we'll add on a beautiful piece of the cedar plank smoked salmon, along with the top of the burger bun. And there you have it, my recipe for cedar plank salmon burgers. If you're looking for an amazing Canadian recipe to celebrate Canada Day this year, or if you really like salmon, go ahead and make these burgers this summer. You will absolutely love them. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well to see more delicious recipes just like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.